Assalamualaikum dan selamat pagi pada semua. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we meet today, this morning, untuk a very short briefing on IDP 1. Okay. Pertama sekali, congratulations. Now you're in your third year of your studies in your degree in civil engineering. You have only about 2 semesters lagi before graduating. So tahniah pada semua, you're now in your third year. Walaupun we've been doing online classes ni, I think more than 3 semesters lah. I think this is the 4th semester. Right? Okay, initially I wanted to do the briefing dalam Zoom punya platform, but however I rechecked with the number of students that is allowed, and Zoom will only allow 100 students. So that's why last minute saya tukar menggunakan Webex. Okay, I'm more familiar with Zoom. I'm not so familiar menggunakan Webex. Alright, let's have a look how many participants do we have. Alright, we have more than 100, sekarang ni 102 participants. And for today, kita punya combination is, kita punya class ataupun briefing is on 4 section. Section 5, section 6, section 7, SEAA3022, section 5, 6 and 7, plus there's one section 1 under SKAB3022. Okay, so altogether ada 4 sections, 4 different sections combining together for this brief, brief sharing lah pagi ni on integrated design project. So I think pertama sekali, let's have a look at the timetable dulu. Okay, I think I've shared this with the class representatives for all sections. Okay, dan yang ini hopefully everyone can see. Okay, apa nama this timetable. Okay, and for the class representative, I think it's all listed juga di sini. Okay, it's listed over here. Kenapa tak bergerak? Pointer tak payah. Okay, saya tak apa familiar menggunakan menggunakan ni Webex ni. Tak apa. Right. Our discussion today is being recorded. Okay. Jadi I will share the recording later on dalam YouTube. Dalam YouTube, because I'm not teaching IDP 1 section 5, 6, 7 and boleh kata section 8 lah senang, section 8. So I'm not teaching any of these sections, so I can't access the e-learning punya, in my e-learning menu, this section 5, section 6, 7 and 8 does not appear in my menu. So I cannot access to share the video. So what I did, similarly what I did was for IDP2, saya uploaded dalam YouTube, and you can always have a look again at the presentation ataupun briefing later on nanti. Yeah. Okay. So this is the timetable and we have all the class representatives. Kalau tengok sini. Okay. Hide video. Okay. Right. So class representative for section 1 would be Muhammad Nazrin Fahmi. Section 2 will be Nurul Shahira Zainal. Section 3 will be Lee Yong. Section 4 is Mahindran Jayendran. Okay. Kemudian section 5 class representative is Muhammad Hafiz, Khairuddin dan Amirul Aiman will be your class representative in section 6. Manakala Bariki Muhammad Nazri will be caretaker untuk section 7. And finally section 1 SKAB3022 ni yesterday saya dah appoint siapa nama I forgot the name. Tapi it's already dalam apa nama representative punya group lah wakil-wakil. Ain apa nama? Ain Sofia. Right. Ain Sofia is the representative for section 1 SKAB. The rest is under SEAA section 1 sampai section 7. So let's have a look. This is basically the timetable for the IDP 1. Okay. Then the first week will be a week for the briefing session. Okay. And today we are on the 22nd of March. So section 5, section 6, section 7 and section 1 of SKAB. I'm combining all the 4 sections because the timing is that from 8 to 10 you have a time allocated for IDP 1. So because of that, I'm using this time to hold a short briefing. Okay, for group 1 and group 4, in which I'm teaching, group 1 and group 4 will be on tomorrow, 23rd of March. Okay, again from 9 to 10 p.m. and 9 to 10 a.m. Manakala finally for group section 2 dengan section 3, section 2 and section 3 will be on this coming Thursday from 11 to 1 p.m. So these are the timetable for the briefing for the first week. And then following that, in the second week and the third week, the regular classes will start. Ini yang dimasukkan regular classes during regular times in your timetable. And please note that in the timetable for this semester only, because we have a large number of students, we have about 8 groups of students. So what we did was kita combine. Contohnya, section 1 and section 4. Okay, section 1 dengan section 4 is similar. Okay, section 1, this will be the teaching staff, and the section 4 will be the same set of teaching staff. Kamaru Azlan will be looking into ESCP, which is a topic on erosion and sedimentation control. Okay, saya sendiri will be on earthwork, and then Prof. Rosli Muhammad Zain will be taking up costing and estimating, and finally Dr. Zainab will be on water reticulation design. So these are the 4 major topics in IDP 1. You will be exposed kepada 4 topics ataupun 4 different modules. We have the earthwork module, kemudian the erosion module. These 2 modules are very closely related to each other, earthwork dengan erosion. Kemudian we have the costing and estimating, tajuk topic on costing and estimating. And finally, there will be a topic ataupun a module on water reticulation design. Okay. Briefly, nanti I'll go into detail what it means for all these 4 different topics. Tapi briefly, what it means in this timetable is that for the second week, section 1 dengan section 4 will be sharing the same time slot, and it means that the lecture will be conducted concurrently for both section 1 and section 4. Whereas section 2 dengan section 3 will be combined. Okay, your lectures will be similar for section 2 dengan section 3, which means that we are combining section 2 dengan section 3 together in one lecture. Section 1 and section 4 will be combined together in one lecture, whereas section 5 dengan 5 and 6 juga akan digabungkan, will be combined together between section 5 dengan section 6, and finally between section 7 dan juga section 1 SKAB will be combined. So it means that we have 4 different sets of combination. Okay, the first combination will be section 1 and section 4. The lecturers involved are the same lecturers for both section, and lectures will be conducted concurrently. Section 2 dengan 3, you have the same group of lecturers. Okay, meaning that we are combining section 2 dengan section 3 just for the lectures dan juga for the supervision of the work dalam IDP later on. Okay, section 2 dengan section 3. Kemudian section 5 and 6, the same color, we're using the same color. So it means that both sections are also combined together. And finally section 7 dan juga section 01 of SKAB juga we are combining both section into a similar punya lecture period. Okay, so this is what is tabulated in this timetable. So for this first week, okay, you can rest assured that there will only be briefing sahaja. Lectures will start next week and the following week, week number 2 dengan week number 3, sehingga maybe week number 4, depending on if there is I understand that on the 3rd of January, February, March, 3rd of April, okay, it is expected to be awal Ramadan, the first day of Ramadan. And if the 3rd of April is the first day of Ramadan, then it is a public holiday in Johor. In Johor, meaning all the lectures yang di sini on the 3rd of April will then be replaced maybe on the 10th of April. So we leave week number 4 as a vacant week, okay, for emergency use. Okay, setengah lecturer they can't make it certain time, so they will be replacing their lectures in week number 4. Okay, so week number 2, week number 3 is our regular classes. We leave out week number 4 as a spare week, yeah, if some of the lectures need to be continued into week number 4. And week number 5 to week number 15 is your group work and supervision by the respective lecturers. Okay, so you will be given, nanti I'll talk about that, you'll be given a site, a typical site, and from that site, you will do your earthwork design, your erosion and sedimentation control design, your water supply design, dan juga your costing and estimating exercise, referring to the same site. And the site yang that will be given in IDP 1 will then be carried into IDP 2, which will be in your 4th year, final year nanti. So 4th year, you will again be exposed to another series of IDP, which is IDP number 2, IDP 2, where in IDP 2, you will be faced with 5 different modules: road, drainage, sewerage, kemudian ada geotechnical dan juga RC. So that will be in IDP number 2, IDP 2. In IDP 1, you are required to tackle 4 different topics, namely your earthwork design, kemudian your erosion. These two are very closely related, earthwork dengan erosion and sedimentation control. And number 3 would be your water supply design. And number 4 would be your costing and estimating exercise. So all these 4 topics will be in your IDP1, and we can see that from this timetable, given that there will be 4 different lecturers taking up 4 different topics for each section. Okay, so this is roughly the timetable that you would be expecting in week number 2 and week number 3. Apart from that, there is also a very important information, yeah? Okay. Information which is mana ni? Which is the apa nama orang kata? These two dates ni. Okay. Dates yang indicated here. Milestone. That's right. I was selecting the milestone ni. Okay. So for your milestone, you have 2 very important dates. Milestone. Milestone. Which is, the first important date is on the 12th of May. January, February, May. Okay. 12th of May is your first milestone date where you need to do a digital poster submission. Somewhere around week, I'm not sure week number berapa ni. Your digital poster, I think ni lepas daripada Hari Raya. Okay. Selepas Raya, I think. The first week after your mid-semester break. Okay, your mid-semester break, in your mid-semester break is the Hari Raya holiday, Hari Raya puasa. The week following that, selepas tu, minggu pertama when you come back kepada your when kita jumpa balik after Hari Raya, then is the submission for the poster. Okay, this is a requirement dalam IDP where each group, okay, the poster is to be submitted by each group, bukan individual, tapi a group effort. You will be required to, each group will be required to produce a poster related kepada all these 4 different topics: erosion, earthwork, costing and estimating, dan juga water supply. So each group will produce 4 different posters, and that poster will be submitted into e-learning. We'll make use of the e-learning platform for all submissions. Okay, so the first important date will be on the 12th of April, January, February, March, April, May. On the 12th of May, and the second date would be your final submission, which is on the 30th of June, the last day of June. And this happens to be the last day of the semester before the semester, before kita punya study leave. Okay, before study leave. So there are 2 very important dates that everyone has to be aware. The first date would be the poster submission date. I'll talk on the poster briefly later on. Dan juga on the final submission date where you need to submit your final report. Okay, compile all the different topics into one final report and submit your final report before, or paling lewat will be on the 30th of June. Okay, that will be on the last day of the semester, just before the study break. Okay, 1 week study break. And then satu lagi I like to highlight is that on this date juga, on the 30th of June, we will be carrying out an interview session, online interview session, to evaluate the students' understanding. Okay, we want to evaluate the students' understanding on the topic that they were assigned to. Okay, we will produce. What will happen is that before the start of week number 2, I will release the grouping list for each section. Meaning for section 1, there'll be a certain group, mungkin depending on the number of students, okay, paling elok ataupun paling effective is to have approximately 8, 9 ataupun 10 students, 8, 9 or 10 students per group. Okay, 8, 9 ataupun 10 students per group. So we will be forming the groups for section 1 and all the other sections. So in your week number 2, you will then be informed you are in which section. We will table out the list. Okay? Saya akan share dengan all the class representatives the grouping for all the sections 1 through section number 8. Okay, and then your group representative will share dengan your respective section. Okay, so each student will then be in a group, in one particular group, and this group will be maintained dalam IDP 1 and also IDP 2 unless the group wishes to disband. Okay, kalau there is no request for the group to disband, we will maintain the same group for IDP 1 dan juga IDP 2. You'll be the same group members throughout IDP 1 sehinggalah habis IDP 2 in your 4th year. Okay, so that is the grouping list that we will be releasing to the class representatives by maybe later this week ataupun early next week, week number 2. Kemudian in the meantime, you are required to attend all the lectures, okay, as shown di sini. Mana nak erase Clear all annotations, okay. 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 So everyone is required to attend all the lectures. Selepas habis nanti, at the end of week number 4 ataupun at the end of week number 3, then each group will decide who in the group will be doing earthwork. Siapa yang akan buat erosion and sedimentation control. Who are the ones that will be assigned to do water supply design. And finally, siapakah yang akan that will be assigned to do the estimating and estimating dan juga costing and estimating. So you decide within your group who will be doing what. Okay, you have about 8 to 10 students per group. We will assign 8 to 10 students per group. At the end of week number 3, then the group will decide, okay, who within the group will be doing your water supply design, who will be doing the estimating, costing and estimating, and who will be doing your earthwork, then finally the erosion and sedimentation control. So each group will then decide the work to be distributed to each group member. So if you have about 8 students, then 2 members ataupun 2 students per each topic would be an ideal condition. If you have more than 8, then I would suggest maybe 2 ataupun 3 ataupun 4 students focus on earthwork dulu. Sebab earthwork ni, one of the important output of earthwork is to produce levels, aras-aras. Okay? I think you've gone through a simple earthwork exercise during your survey camp, if I'm not mistaken. Kan? So one of the objective is to propose a level. Okay? Mencadangkan sesuatu aras, to propose a workable level. And from that proposed level, then kita akan buat the cut and fill calculation to calculate how much cutting is involved then how much filling is involved. But basically, we need to have a certain level dulu. So, earthwork is a very important, crucial element because in this topic, you will then decide what would be the level for the overall site. With this level, kemudian the erosion dan juga the water supply exercise can be carried out. Without levels, water supply cannot be carried out. So the water supply group will will need the levels from the earthwork group. That is why what I'm saying is that if you have more than 8 students, put more resources, put more manpower pada earthwork to obtain the levels as soon as possible, secepat mungkin, so that the levels can then be distributed kepada the erosion punya group dan the water supply group dan juga the estimating costing dan juga estimating group, because costing and estimating is actually evaluating the cost of earthwork. Okay, the costing dengan estimating group ni sebenarnya will be referring kepada earthwork to evaluate what would be the cost of the earthwork. Okay, so all the 3 components yang ini will depend very much kepada earthwork. So that is why I'm saying if you have more than 8 group members in a group, within your group, then put more group members in earthwork so that the work can be carried out more efficiently, more smoothly dan juga lebih cepat, so that you get the results quickly, and from the results you can share with your group yang buat water supply, costing and estimating dan juga erosion. Okay, so that is the link between the 4 independent topics. Kita nampak macam independent, tapi sebenarnya it is very closely related between earthwork dengan water supply, earthwork dengan costing dan juga earthwork dengan erosion. In fact, when you move up kepada IDP 2, when you're doing your drainage and sewerage design, again, you would be referring kepada levels that you have produced in IDP 1. The levels that you're producing in IDP 1 will then be reused again in IDP 2 later on for the design of road, drainage and sewerage. So that shows how important the work that you're doing now in IDP 1 and the relationship of IDP 1 dengan IDP 2. It is a subject that integrates a lot of knowledge. Contohnya, in IDP 1, you have some knowledge on cut and fill during your survey camp exercise. Okay, you have your information dan juga knowledge in flow in pipes in hydraulics. Kan? Hydraulics. Okay, so erosion, erosion. A lot will depend on the hydrology that you've come across earlier. So all this information that you've come across from different subjects, daripada subjek-subjek yang lain, will now be combined together in one integrated design project. Itu yang kita namakan sebagai IDP. Okay, you have learned flow in pipes independently. You have come across cut and fill independently. Now kita bring all these contohnya these 2 topics together in a single project, in a single subject, and it refers to the same site. So there'll be an integration of knowledge, integration of information between earthwork dengan water supply, earthwork dengan costing, earthwork dengan erosion, and later on earthwork with drainage, earthwork dengan sewerage. Okay, dan juga road. Road design pun we need a level. Okay, so this is the sort of integration that you are expected to come across dalam IDP 1, and later on to bring this integration into IDP 2. Any questions so far? Ada soalan apa-apa from anyone? Okay. Mana dia nak sharing lagi? Okay, so this is one example that related to the deliverables. Okay, the lecturers will come in every week. There will be 2 lectures for the second dengan third week. For the 4th, 5th and sampailah minggu 15, each contohnya I'm taking as work for group number 1 dengan group number 4. section 4 dengan section 1. Once I have finished my lecture on earthwork, I will inform the class, please form a small group of all those yang involved in earthwork only, section 1 dan section 4. Okay, so I will inform the students in section 1 and section 4. For those who's taking up earthwork design, okay, please form a group and include saya dalam kumpulan WhatsApp tersebut. Because later on, at week number 4, week number 5 and so on sampailah week number 15, I will be meeting, berjumpa dengan students yang doing earthwork sahaja. I will be supervising, I will be guiding, okay, dan juga advising the group members on earthwork only. That is why I would prefer to form a WhatsApp group for those who are involved in earthwork sahaja. So you will form another group on water supply. You will form another WhatsApp group on costing and estimating, and so on and so on. So each topic will have one small WhatsApp group which comprises all the group members that are involved in that particular topic sahaja. So that the lecturers, and don't forget to include the lecturers sekali dalam group tersebut, so that the lecturers can be involved every week during this period, okay? During Sunday dan juga Wednesday, the lecturers will will maybe macam saya akan buat maybe every Wednesday online, okay? And I will discuss with all the group members what's the progress for this week, anticipated progress for next week, what are the problems that the group is facing in the earthwork design contohnya. So I will be monitoring every week, week in and week out for every week. Right? So which means that from week number 4 sampailah week number 15, it is more focused kepada individual work within a certain topic. So Dr. Zainab will be monitoring only those yang doing water supply sahaja. Okay. Cik Kamarul will be doing monitoring dan juga advising dan juga briefing dan sebagainya on the group which is doing the erosion and sedimentation control sahaja. So we break up into smaller groups, 4 smaller groups with the lecturers involved, and they will be monitoring and supervising and advising the students on each individual topic. Okay? So which means that after week number 3, we will still be meeting each other, tapi I will be meeting my section 1 dengan 4, dan only those doing earthwork saja. I won't be meeting the whole class. I'll be concentrating, focusing pada the group that's doing earthwork saja. And the rest will be with their own respective lecturers. Okay? For the whole of the semester. Because the lecturers will guide, okay, dan juga inform what needs to be done. Okay? In the final report, you must have certain criteria. What are the criteria that you need to have in the report? Contohnya. Okay? So in my earthwork punya topik, I will advise. In the final report, pastikan you have number 1, apa dia? Number 2, what is it? Number 3, number 4, dan seterusnya. So all the contents, the important contents must be included in the report. Okay, the final report. Okay. So that is why I'm advising that after week number 3, form small specific groups for each topic with all the group members doing specific topics sahaja, and include the lecturers together dalam the WhatsApp group, okay, for monitoring dan juga supervising. Right? Any questions so far? Okay, yang ini is just a repeat of what I've mentioned earlier. Okay, this is the timeline. 2 very important dates. on the 12th of May, okay, and on the 30th of June will be your two very important milestone, your poster submission. Okay, your poster submission ni is kalau just to share dengan ni, apa dia what is meant by poster. Okay. So I'm sharing what has been done by your seniors earlier. Okay. Contohnya you will be doing a poster something like this. You'll be given a site and from that site, katakan you're producing you're trying to produce a poster on earthwork. So using that site, then masukkan gambar site and list down all the work that you need to do in your earthwork. Okay, so each topic will be producing one poster. So for one group, there will be 4 posters. One poster for earthwork, another poster for erosion. The third poster will be on costing and estimating, and the fourth poster will be on water supply design. Okay, so this is the sort of poster that we will be expecting for each group. Okay, and the project site, okay, each group will be given something macam ni. It's not this exact site, tapi something yang macam ni. Something like this, which indicates the proposed development. Oh, tak ada. Sebenarnya ada 2 drawing ni. One is the proposed development. What is the proposed development? A housing, a shop house, dan sebagainya for a certain site. And at the same time, we will be giving a topography map. Okay, a topo map of the same site indicating all the existing features yang sedia ada on the site before development, sebelum pembangunan. The actual site before development, and satu lagi drawing is the site when the development has been completed. So each group will be given a site, and the site will be the same untuk semua. Okay? All the groups in section 1, section 2, section 3 sampailah section number 8, you will be given the same plan. Yeah, the same plan. We don't have so many plans to have a varied punya drawing. So everyone will be given the same drawings, but you will be amazed that at the end of the semester, kalau ada section 1, kalau dah ada 5 group, then all the 5 groups will produce different punya results. Even though we are looking at the same site, the 5 groups will produce different results, different levels, different earthwork quantities, different costing, different erosion measures, dan juga different water supply. You will be amazed that even though all the 5 groups are looking at the same site plan, but at the end of the semester, it will be 5 different sets of solution, because there is no one particular solution. Dalam IDP, it is an open-ended punya solution. There is no one definite solution. Okay, there is no single solution, bukan. There are multiple solution, and each solution is a workable solution. If you can defend the solution. Itu yang penting tu. What I mean is that it is a workable, it can be considered as a solution if you can justify, okay, your proposal tu is a workable proposal, then we will accept it as a solution for the problem. So remember, in IDP, we are not looking at the accuracy of your calculation, okay, but more kepada the reasoning, okay, the reasoning why. Okay, contohlah water supply. For water supply, you need a water tank. Katalah one group dia kata, sir, we're going to put our water tank somewhere di sini. Okay, and then I will ask, okay, why is that you have located this the water tank to be located here? Okay. I would expect the group to justify why they locate the water tank to be in this particular location, because memandangkan water distribution is a gravity flow punya distribution. So a water tank should be sited on the highest level on the site. Contohnya. Okay. So when a student kata we have located the water tank, when the group says we have located the water tank in this position because that is the highest location within the whole site, then I would accept that solution. Ataupun I would accept that justification. Saya terima. It makes sense. But if you say our group, we have selected this position because when we discuss with another group, they also want to put the water tank here, so we decided to put sama-sama lah, the same place. I would not accept that sort of justification. Okay? Even if you say, because we selected this point for our water tank, because the lecturer advises to locate the water tank here. Even macam itu pun, I would not accept that justification. Okay? Why would a lecturer advise ni? Bermakna you need to ask the lecturer, sir, why are you advising us to put the water tank here? Then the lecturer will explain, then you will understand why the lecturer wants you to put your water tank at the highest level, because from the highest level, then the water supply would be on a gravity flow to all the houses within the development area. So it makes sense. But if you just say, because the lecturer advises to put it here, is not the correct solution ataupun the correct justification. So IDP is working towards that, working towards for students to develop this sort of justification. Okay, why have you contohnya drainage? Why have you discharged water, final discharge di sini? Okay, your final queue from the whole taman, your final discharge point di situ. We will query, why have you selected that point? So it is a question of justification. To justify, you must be able to say, to justify whatever decision, whatever solution that you propose dalam IDP has to be a solution that can be justified. It's not just a solution because another group is also using the same solution, or because this is what the lecturer advised, or because this is what the seniors advise. No, that is not the proper way to justify. You need the real facts why to justify your certain decisions in IDP 2. So in IDP 2, in IDP 1 and 2. So in IDP series, we are training the students. We are training the students so that whatever decision that you make, a technical decision, that decision is based on a very solid and reliable source. Sumber dia satu sumbernya yang tepat. We put our water tank located here because it is the highest point within the whole site. Okay, and knowing that the water distribution will be on a gravity flow, this gives an advantage to locate the water tank at the highest point. And the same argument juga boleh digunakan sewerage. Your sewerage treatment plant, STP. Where would someone locate STP di mana? Anyone? Kalau water tank, the highest level, highest point, STP,
Lowest point.
lowest point. Correct. So it makes sense. Kalau kita kata, if you say, sir, our group, we are locating our STP somewhere di sini. Contohnya lah, somewhere there. And I ask you, why? Why have the group selected that point? So because from the study, we have located that this will be the lowest level within the whole site. And then saya tanya, what has lowest level dengan STP? What is the connection between putting your STP at the lowest level? Then you would say, sir, the sewerage from toilets punya area is transferred kepada STP through gravity flow. Okay, so it means it is a logical choice to put our STP at the lowest level, so that it will then be able to collect all the sewage from all the dwelling units for the whole taman, because it is the lowest point, and the sewage from the furthest point di sini can be transferred to the lowest point di sini because of the difference in level. Okay. Then kita bersyarah, kita rasa we have achieved in advising the student ataupun in guiding the students to come up with that sort of response. Kita nak that sort of response. Okay. We're not looking at your accuracy of your calculation, your design sebagainya, tak. We are more towards kepada justification, decision making. How did you arrive at this decision? What are your parameters that you decide, that you have looked into before deciding on this decision? We are looking at that particular punya a different angle. Okay, we are looking from a different angle. We are looking from a justification for an engineer. Engineer, when you are working outside, you always face so many sorts of questions. Okay, and you need to justify whatever decision, whatever solution that you have proposed, you must be able to justify. Okay, sama ada kepada majlis ke, kepada local authorities ke, kepada public, okay, kepada engineers juga, sama-sama engineers, you must always be able to justify your action, your decision. Okay, kenapa? Why have you chosen the level on this side to be lower than the levels on this side? Why have you chosen the levels at the central portion ni to be the highest level? These are the questions that you would be expected to be asked, okay, in public when you're working. Mungkin klien tanya, Mr. Engineer, kenapa level shop houses yang warna biru ni is higher than level perumahan di sini? I want the houses to be higher than the shopping punya area. Then you need to justify why. To tell the client, sir, Mr. Client, the decision that we have done is because nombor 1, nombor 2, nombor 3, we have a certain set of criteria. So it's not just saja-saja suka-suka macam tu. We have a certain criteria to justify our decision. Okay, so IDP is working towards that, to create the awareness in students and to guide the students and to train the students to come up with this sort of attitude. Yang ni, when you are being asked something, you can always justify balik, you can always clarify balik why you have chosen this sort of solution, not a solution yang macam ni, tapi a solution yang macam ni. So you have a decision between these two solutions. You have selected solution B instead of solution A, and why? This sort of training is in IDP. Dalam IDP, we are trying to train students towards this sort of punya reality semasa bekerja nanti, right? So this is the sort of the sort of site plan that will be given to each group, hopefully by end of this week ataupun by early next week. Definitely before you finish the lectures on week number 2 dengan week number 3, sebelum habis lecture tu lah, ataupun sebaik-baiknya sebelum bermula lectures week number 2 dengan week number 3. Any questions so far? We are about 9:50 sekarang. Okay, some of you may have classes at 10. Okay, so any questions so far? Tak ada. What about evaluation? Tak ada siapa tanya evaluation. I was menunggu je Siapa nak tanya pasal evaluation ni? How do we evaluate IDP punya ni? Yeah? So the evaluation of IDP, okay, mana saya? New sharing. Okay, new share. Mana nak share? Share content ke? Okay. Okay. Semua boleh nampak? Boleh ya? Berapa participant?
Nampak Doktor.
Nampak About 125. Betul lah tu. Saya roughly calculate will be more than 100. So 125 tu definitely kalau saya guna Zoom memang tak boleh masuk lah. 25 tu you will not be able to attend the apa nama kita punya briefing because the limitation of 100 participants. So this shows one typical evaluation. Okay, evaluation form that we use, even though yang ini sebenarnya IDP 2, tapi the same thing will be applied kepada IDP 1. What we can see secara umumnya in general is that okay, the evaluation is divided kepada dua sebenarnya. Okay, two section. The first section is the poster presentation, and the second section would be the final report dan juga individual presentation. Okay, the poster presentation would contribute about 10%. 10%. Would contribute about 10%. Okay. 10% marks. Overall marks is 10% for poster presentation. And basically, final report will contribute 60%, 60%. And your individual interview, which will be carried out at the end of the semester, will contribute 30%. So all in all, you will have 100% lah. Okay, 100%. You have 60% on report, 10% on your poster, yeah, and total everything will have 100%. Ini contoh what we have done seen earlier last few semesters. Okay, this is contoh lah group number 9. These are the group members. Okay, 1 sehingga 1 hingga 10, 10 group members. Okay, and within these 10 group members, they are required to produce yang ini remember IDP 2. So IDP 2 ada 5 different topics: road, drainage, sewerage, geotechnical dan juga RC. Untuk for IDP 1, you will only be facing 4 different topics: earthwork, erosion, costing and estimating, and finally water supply. So what I'm showing is just an example taken from IDP 2. Yeah? So each group will produce report ni. Okay? Maybe 2 students will produce road design report. Another 2 students produce drainage design report dan sebagainya. At the end of the semester, compile everything into one group report. And then pensyarah yang mengajar road will evaluate the contents of the report in road dan bagi markah. This is over 20 over. 12 over 20. Quite low lah. And for drainage, 18 over 20. For sewerage is 17 over 20. Geotechnical 18 and RC 17. Total is 82. From this 82, 60% will contribute sebagai overall group report. 60%. Meaning this 49.2 ni adalah 60% of 82. So this 49.2 is for everybody. Semua dapat markah sama. Muhammad Salahuddin, Eric, Muhammad Iman, Haikal, semua ni sama. Will have 49.2 from the group report sahaja. Okay. Please be aware that kalau lah katakan markah di sini tinggi, okay, instead of 12, katakan 18. a new total, and look that the group punya marks on the report, okay, has now increased from 40 something kepada 50 something, and 50 something is for everyone sama. So please be aware that if one group pulls down ataupun markah dia jatuh, satu ataupun dua group markah dia jatuh, okay, that it will affect the whole group. All the 10 students will be affected because now 45 ni, even though ada group yang dapat 18, okay, for drainage dengan for drainage dapat 18, tapi because road dan juga geotechnical very low, maka everyone gets low marks, 45 over 60 sahaja. Okay, so please be aware that your group leaders from time to time, yeah, please check on your group members dan pastikan everyone is up to date dengan dia punya kerja. Right? Kemudian this 45 ni will then be added kepada poster. Poster ni again per 10, per 10. Dalam IDP 2, they need to produce 5 posters because 5 different topics. So lecturer on road will give markah dia poster on road. Lecturer on drainage will give marks on drainage punya poster. And so on and so on. So the same thing will be applied dalam IDP 1. Lecturer earthwork macam saya, for section 1 dengan section 4, I will give the marks over 10 on earthwork posters only. And then Dr. Zainab will give marks on posters for water supply. Encik Kamarul will give marks on poster berkaitan erosion. And finally, Prof. Rosli will give marks on poster berkaitan dengan costing and estimating. And finally, we have about total dia 38 ni. And the average is 7.7 ataupun 10% ni. 7.7. The average marks for poster. Add these two together. Okay, dapatlah 52.7. 45 plus 7.7. Dapatlah 52.7. Now this 52.7 is over 70. Remember, coming from final report dengan poster ni, 60% on final report, 10% on poster. So this marks ni 52.7 is over 70 per 70. Okay. And finally, we will have this presentation marks based on individual. Yang ini kali ini will be based on individual. We'll be looking at communication, okay, major work presentation dan juga minor work presentation. Major dengan minor ni macam ni lah. You have 4 different topics. You have 8 students in your group. Okay, katakan 2 student membuat earthwork. So for that 2 students doing earthwork is their major work. But they must also be aware dan understand what their friends and colleagues yang doing all the other 3 topics on erosion, on water supply dan juga costing. So ini yang dimasukkan sebagai minor. Major and minor. Major is the work that you actually do in IDP. Sama ada earthwork is your major, or water supply is your major, or erosion is your major, or costing is your major. There'll be 1 major and 3 minor punya work. Minor ni you need to know, you need to understand what your friends and colleagues are doing in, katakan your major is erosion, what your friends are doing in earthwork, in costing dan juga in water supply. Okay. Jadi all around you need to be an all-rounder. You're majoring in one, you're minoring in the other 3 topics. You still need to know, to understand what your friends are doing in the other 3 topics. You need to do, even though you're doing only 1 topic on, contohnya you're doing erosion, but you still need to know how to tackle problems related kepada earthwork, water supply dan juga costing. Okay, so itu yang kita bahagikan major dengan minor ni. So each student will need to understand overall the whole thing. the whole package. You have your major, you have your minor. So it means that overall you are doing the whole thing. The whole thing. So these are the marks given individually for their presentation. And kita dapat total di sini. This is 30 marks. And finally, this 30% plus this 52.7 will give you your final marks. Ini final marks. Okay. 74, 80, 77, 74, okay, 72. So it's ranging from B plus kepada A. Just because markah-markah di sini. Kalau yang ini katakan average 15, okay, yang ini pun 15. Now everyone dah dapat A minus dengan A. So just to show the impact, the impact of your report ni. Because it carries 60%, it has a very high impact, okay, on your final punya marks di sini. Okay. So try to achieve, kalau boleh idealnya semua tinggi, 18, 19, 18, 19, 20. Katakan full mark, satu full mark. Okay. So kalau markah di sini, okay, kalau katakan yang ini in your presentation, you cannot perform, katakan dapat 8 sahaja dan yang ini dapat 5 sahaja, okay, you are still A student. Because the weightage from your report carries so much marks, 60%, that you need to really concentrate pada sini. Produce the best report possible. So that you will achieve the highest possible marks in your final report punya compilation. Okay? 56.4 over 60. Ini per 60. So try to obtain the highest marks in your report writing. And to achieve the highest mark, of course, you must follow the instructions of the lecturer. Pensyarah earthwork will say, okay, in your earthwork report, you must have 4 important elements. Pensyarah water supply will mention in your report, I need 3 very important elements for you to highlight dalam report. So follow the instructions of the lecturer so that from there you will achieve your highest marks, and start early. Jangan tunggu-tunggu. Okay? Jangan don't take it easy lah. Maknanya from week number 2, week number 3, week number 4, week number 5 tu dah mula dah. You've already started doing work so that when you start doing your report at the end, because report tu bila dah siap design buat report, when you start doing your report, you still have time to modify, tukar, upgrade dan sebagainya. Because you dah siap awal. Okay? So my advice is that always start early so that you finish early. Start early, finish early. Okay? Any questions on evaluation? Okay? So roughly it is a breakdown of 60% of your report would be, of the marks will be in your report, 60%, and then 10% from your poster, and 30% will come from individual presentation. Okay? Right? We are now 5 minutes past 10. Dah terlebih sikit. How many participants? Oh, still okay. Yeah? Mana tak ada kelas lepas ni? Sekejap. Saya minum sekejap. So, does anyone have any questions regarding IDP?
Yes, Doctor.
Okay.
Get a rubrics for this.
Oh yeah,
this
rubrics.
course.
Okay, I will share the rubrics dengan, in fact, the sample of the marking scheme, and also the mana tadi? Saya nak share. Kenapa tak ada? Yang ini. Bukan ni. Lah, mana dah nak contact ni? Macam mana tak nak buat? Too many. Ya. Web content yang ini. Macam mana saya nak close kan ni? Oh, saya. Sekejap. I have to stop sharing. And then a new share. Okay. Alright. So this is another document. It is a document I'll share dengan group representatives. Okay. It is a brief of the integrated design project, namely the aim of the program is it was introduced and implemented to promote design education for undergraduate students and to reduce the burden on students caused by multiple short-term projects. Okay? And to give them the experience of developing a more in-depth long-term project. Okay? So students working in groups are given a proposed development project where all key elements has to be addressed, such as site planning, earthwork, sedimentation, and so on. Okay? I'll share this document. Dan dalam dokumen ni juga, within this document, these are the components for IDP 1, okay, and IDP 2, and apa nama posters dan sebagainya. Okay. I will be sharing this and also the weightage for all the evaluation of the marks for the yeah. And my advice, okay, apa? Plan, organize, and start early. No passengers. Please. I would not like to hear of any passengers in. Passengers ni apa? Passengers ni apa dia, sir? Passengers ni maknanya nama ada, your name is in the group, but there is zero contribution. You're not contributing anything to the group. Okay? The group leader gives you some assignment to do ataupun some portion of the work to be done. At the end of the few weeks, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, no progress, tak ada apa. Okay? So you are a passenger in the team. So harapnya jangan ada passengers in the team. We will be giving out peer review forms later on, somewhere in mid-semester. Okay? So these peer review forms will give an indication of your contribution to the team. Okay? So we would not like to have any passengers in any of the teams, in any groups. Okay? Teamwork and due diligence always work together. Okay? And every member to be conversant in all modules. Ini yang I've mentioned earlier. Your major dengan minor. So you need to be conversant in all modules. Okay? Major dengan minor. Alright. We are now 10 minutes beyond 10. Okay. If there are if there are no more questions, then can I end the session, or do we have any other questions? Ada soalan apa-apa? So remember, your lectures will start next week number 2, and for week number 3, week number 3, okay, on the 3rd of April, to be confirmed whether will be our first day of Ramadan ataupun tak. If the first day of Ramadan is not on the 3rd of April, then lectures will be as usual. If not, then we will shift all lectures on the 3rd of April kepada on the 10th of April on week number 4. Okay, the same Sunday, the same on a Sunday, tapi on the 10th of April. Okay, so stop sharing.
Sorry, Doctor.
Yeah. Ada soalan?
Okey, tak apa, saya guna BM. Okey, sorry doktor. Yang doktor cakap tadi pasal passenger tu kan. Contoh
Ya.
kata kalau dalam grup tu ada passenger, apa yang perlu kami buat? Perlu report dekat doktor ke?
Yes.
Ataupun
Kalau ada passengers in your group, okay, first thing I would expect is kalau boleh try to solve within your group. Katakan your group member passenger ni buat earthwork, tukar dia kepada water supply. Okay, week number 3, week number 4 tak buat apa lagi, tukar dia.
sebab saya pernah kena sem lepas. Sem lepas saya kena
Aha.
masa
Subjek apa tu?
awal subjek tak boleh sebut lah sebab takut dia ada dekat sini. Okey, sorry lah. Tapi dia foreigner, dia tak faham, tak apa. Okey, so masa awal-awal sem okey, tapi bila time masuk projek, dia tak contribute apa-apa pun. Jadi saya terpaksa nama dia untuk projek tu saya terpaksa buang, then saya buat semua kerja yang dia buat, cuma tak sempat siap jadi markah dah deduct banyak lah.
Oh,
Macam
I
tu.
see.
Jadi saya takut jadi berulang balik macam tu. Yang ni
Alright,
dengan foreigner punya.
Okay, kalau macam if that is the case, where you after week number 3, after week number 4, after week number 5, it seems that your one group member is not contributing anything. Okay, so quickly before the mid semester, inform saya, senang. And then I will have a session dengan the group member, okay, berkaitan dengan his contribution and his work to be done. Okay, so bagi tahu saya terus direct to me kepada apa nama you the apa nama you can get my number from your group representative. Yeah, dia orang ada because I have formed satu group where all the group representative, yeah, section 1 sampailah section 8 sini. Ain apa? Ain Sofia, ya. Yeah, yeah. Bariki, Amiro dan seterusnya, semua ni dah saya form satu group. So group representative dengan saya, we have already form one group. So you can get my number from your group representative. And all information, contohnya macam I was saying the IDP brief, yang ini semua, I will share all this PDF punya information, the timeline dan sebagainya, with your group representative, and the group rep will then disseminate kepada all the group members. Okay? Okay, one good. Itu satu good question from saya tak dapat tanya tadi nama siapa. Tapi itulah pengalaman from experience, pengalaman lepas. Sometimes ada students yang tend to be a bit, nak kena push baru kerja jalan. Okay, there are some students yang that we need to use the carrot and the stick. Okay, alright. So any other question? Ada apa soalan lagi yang lain? Okay.
I have question. Is it possible for us to form our own group?
No. At the time, for the time being, over all the previous semesters, grouping is prerogative of the lecturers involved. So the lecturers will then decide who goes into which group, okay, dan bilangan ahli dalam kumpulan tersebut. So I'm sorry to say that you cannot form your own groups. We will be updating you maybe at the end of this week ataupun early next week on the grouping list, and that grouping list will stay until IDP 2, not just IDP 1, but you'll be taking your group members together into IDP 2 later on in 4th year. Okay?
Okay, doctor. Thank
Alright.
you.
Okay. Any other question? Before saya okay, before saya end the session, I will be updating uploading our recording ni in YouTube later on. I will share the link dengan your group representatives, and from there the group representatives will then share dengan the other group members for the whole section, right? So if there is no other questions ataupun comments from the students involved dalam section 1, section 5, 6, 7 and section 01 of SKAB, then I think I will end the session. We are more than 15 minutes above ataupun beyond 10 AM. So take care pada semua, okay? Stay negative, jangan positif, negatif. By negatif maksud saya COVID negatif. Okay, stay negative to everyone dan dan apa nama be ready ataupun by next week you will be we will be starting our lectures on IDP 1. Okay, so insyaallah kita jumpa lagi and have a good day today. Okay, Assalamualaikum and good afternoon pada semua.
Okay, Doctor.
Thank you, 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 Doctor.
Okay, have a good day.